Nestled on the rugged coast of Maine, where the relentless waves crash against the rocky shoreline, stands an old lighthouse, its once brilliant white facade now dulled by years of exposure to the elements. The salt air has weathered its stones, and the glass in its lantern room is clouded, casting an eerie glow over the surrounding cliffs as shadows dance in the fading light. This lighthouse, known as the beacon of lost spirits, has been the subject of many local legends, woven into the very fabric of the community it overlooks. As you approach the lighthouse, you can hear the mournful calls of seabirds echoing through the air, mixing with the distant sound of the ocean. The air is thick with the scent of brine and decay, a reminder of the shipwrecks that have plagued this treacherous coastline. The wind whistles through the cracks in the lighthouse's structure, creating an unsettling symphony that sends chills down your spine. It is here that the tales of the lighthouse and its curse come alive, drawing in curious souls and adventurous spirits, all eager to uncover its mysteries. The story begins in the late 1800s, when the lighthouse was first constructed. Built to guide sailors safely through the storms that often battered the coast, it soon became known for more than just its practical purpose. Legend has it that the first keeper of the lighthouse, a man named Thomas Graves, was a dedicated guardian, tirelessly maintaining the light that shone out into the dark sea. However, tragedy struck when a fierce storm blew in one fateful night. The tempest raged, and a ship, the SS Aurora, found itself battling the ferocious waves, desperately seeking the guiding light of the lighthouse. Despite Thomas's best efforts to keep the light burning bright, the storm was too great. The lantern's flame flickered and died, leaving the SS Aurora to navigate the storm in utter darkness. The ship crashed against the rocks just beyond the lighthouse, and its crew perished in the icy waters. Heartbroken and guilt-ridden, Thomas Graves vanished that night, his body never found. From that day on, the lighthouse was said to be cursed. As the years went by, stories began to circulate among the townsfolk. They claimed to hear the mournful cries of sailors lost at sea and the haunting whispers of Thomas Graves, forever searching for forgiveness. Visitors reported seeing a flickering light in the lantern room on stormy nights, even though the lighthouse had long been decommissioned. Locals avoided the area after dark, fearing the wrath of the spirits that lingered there. One summer evening, a group of friends decided to investigate the lighthouse and its legends. They were eager for adventure, armed with flashlights and a sense of bravado. As they approached the lighthouse, the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows that seemed to beckon them closer. The air grew colder, and an unnatural silence enveloped them, broken only by the soft crunch of gravel beneath their feet. Inside, the lighthouse was a time capsule of forgotten history. Dust motes floated in the beams of their flashlights, illuminating the crumbling walls adorned with faded photographs of past keepers, their expressions serious and somber. The friends split up, eager to explore every corner of the building. As they climbed the winding staircase to the lantern room, unsettling feeling washed over them, as if they were being watched. One of the friends, Sarah, paused to glance out of a cracked window. The ocean was churning below, waves crashing violently against the rocks. She felt a chill run down her spine, but dismissed it as a draft from the broken window. However, as she turned to rejoin her friends, she caught a glimpse of something in the distance, a flicker of light far out to sea, moving in a way that defied the natural rhythm of the waves. It was as if the light were beckoning. Meanwhile, in another part of the lighthouse, Jake and Tom were rummaging through an old trunk filled with nautical relics. They pulled out a tarnished brass telescope and a weathered journal belonging to Thomas Graves himself. As they flipped through the pages, they found entries detailing the lighthouse keeper's thoughts and fears, culminating in a frantic scrawl describing the storm that had claimed the SS Aurora. The last entry was chilling. "I cannot let their souls wander. I must light the way." The atmosphere shifted as the friends began to piece together the story of the cursed lighthouse. They felt a heaviness in the air, an oppressive presence that seemed to grow stronger with each passing minute. They exchanged nervous glances, but their curiosity pushed them to continue. They gathered in the lantern room, where the mysterious flickering light had captured Sarah's attention. As they stood there, an unexpected gust of wind howled through the cracks, extinguishing their flashlights. Panic set in as darkness enveloped them, and the only sound was the crashing waves below. Then they heard it, a whisper, barely audible, yet unmistakable. "Help me find peace." Frozen in fear, the group huddled together, hearts racing. The whispering continued, growing louder, more insistent. It was as if Thomas Graves himself was calling out to them. They could feel the weight of his sorrow, the desperation of a man trapped between worlds. In that moment, they understood that they were not alone. Gathering their courage, they decided to respond. "We're here to help you," Sarah shouted into the darkness, her voice trembling with both fear and determination. The whispers ceased, replaced by an eerie stillness. Suddenly, the lantern room filled with an ethereal glow, illuminating the space with a pale light. The friends gasped as they beheld the spectral figure of Thomas Graves, his face etched with sadness and longing. "Light the way," he implored, his voice echoing in the chamber. "Help me guide them home." The friends exchanged glances, realizing that they were being called to fulfill a long-neglected duty. They hurried to the old machinery that once powered the lighthouse, determined to reignite the flame that had been extinguished so many years ago. With trembling hands, they worked together, fusing their energy and focus into the task at hand. They could feel the presence of Thomas urging them on, his spirit enveloping them in warmth and purpose. As they finally managed to spark the old lantern, a brilliant light erupted, casting away the shadows that had lingered for far too long. The moment the light soared into the night sky, a cacophony of whispers erupted around them, a symphony of souls finally finding solace. The oppressive weight that had hung over the lighthouse lifted, replaced by a sense of peace and closure. Thomas Graves appeared once more, a look of gratitude washing over his spectral features. "Thank you," he whispered, his form beginning to fade. "You have freed us." With that, he vanished into the light, leaving the friends in awe of what they had just experienced. As the dawn broke over the horizon, the lighthouse stood proud once again, its beacon shining brightly for the first time in decades. The friends descended the stairs, their hearts full of hope and wonder. They had ventured into the depths of darkness and emerged not only with the truth of a long-ago tragedy, but with a new understanding of the bond between the living and the lost. From that day onward, the lighthouse was no longer feared. Instead, it became a symbol of hope and redemption, a testament to the power of compassion and the importance of helping those who have lost their way. People traveled from far and wide to see the lighthouse, drawn by the stories of the brave friends who had lifted the curse and guided the lost spirits home. Though the echoes of the past still lingered, they were no longer filled with sorrow. Instead, they resonated with the laughter of children playing near the shore, the peaceful hum of families enjoying picnics on the grassy knoll, and the grateful whispers of the souls who had finally found their peace. As the sun set over the ocean each evening, the lighthouse stood tall, a steadfast guardian against the encroaching darkness. Its light pierced through the night, a beacon of hope for all who sailed the treacherous waters below. And as the stars twinkled above, it served as a reminder that even in the darkest of places, light could be found, and lost spirits could finally find their way home.